A quick question for you. Do you ever focus on what's wrong with you more than you focus on what's right or what's good? I'd say most of us do. My natural tendency, straight to the bad and the ugly and overlooking a lot of what's good in my life. But what if the fastest way to self-improvement or life satisfaction isn't self-criticism, but self-awareness of what you're really good at? Today, we're going to talk about your personal powers, the strengths that already exist within you, maybe hiding in plain sight. Welcome back to the Good Life Lab. I'm Dr. Dave. I'm a therapist turned content creator. And the Good Life Lab is all about experimenting with and exploring tools, tips, and techniques for improving your life. I've been in the midst of this series I'm calling From Languishing and Lost to a Good Gay Life, and we're on day 9 right now. We're following this acronym COMPASS, C-O-M-P-A-S-S, and we're at the P, which stands for Powers and Personal Strengths. And my field is positive psychology, which basically means the scientific study of well-being and what makes people happy and flourish. In the last, almost 15 years now, I've been kind of focused on that area of research. And one of the most researched frameworks for understanding our personal strengths comes from this tool called the VIA Character Strengths Model, which was developed by Martin Seligman, the founder of positive psychology, and Chris Peterson. So I'm just going to read to you a bit of their findings. They found that when people identify and use their signature strengths, things like kindness, curiosity, creativity, or humor, they experience measurable benefits like greater life satisfaction, more engagement at work, stronger relationships, and even improved mental health just by identifying and leaning into your top strengths. It's simple but profound. Knowing what's best in you and about you and using it intentionally changes everything. Researchers call it the strengths effect. When you use your top 5 strengths daily, you're more likely to experience flow, that state of energized focus when time disappears, and you bounce back faster from setbacks. In fact, the VIA Institute found that people who know and use their strengths are 9 times more likely to be thriving than those who don't. So some of my top strengths from the VIA inventory include love of learning, creativity, and appreciation of beauty and excellence. How I've used those top strengths in my everyday life and towards my project, which is really what's vital as part of this process. We're building this Good Life project. So how can you use your strengths to enhance your project and help you be successful in that? What this looks like in terms of my project and how I've used my top strengths and how I've leaned into them to help me craft my project, but also help me be successful in my project. One of them was appreciation of beauty and excellence. So it's one of my top 5 VIA strengths. And that has been really at the core of a lot of my projects. I've pursued global adventures and being in settings like climbing to the base camp of Everest and working on a organic farm in Australia. I've crafted my projects around my core strengths to help me, again, be most successful, but also enjoy what I'm doing. Another strength for me is love of learning. And so I've used my projects to not only frame what my interests are, but it kind of gives me permission to pursue and to learn about these things that make me come alive. So that's also been at the heart of a lot of my projects. This is love of learning. And obviously creativity, which is another top strength. That's at the heart of a lot of what I do is just being creative and creating projects that energize me and excite me and helping other people do that as well. So those are how I've used my top strengths and leaned into them. And according to research and my own experience, that's what's brought me great meaning, but also helped me sustain my interests, my projects over time. Be sure to identify, but then also lean into your top strengths on a consistent, regular basis and see how that affects your outlook in life, but also whether or not you're able to sustain change over time. So as we move into practice for today, I want you to keep this in mind to identify and lean into your top strengths. So here are a few practical steps and reminders from today. Be sure to take the VIA Character Strengths Inventory at viacharacter.org. I'll put the information below as well. It's free. It takes about 15 minutes. It gives you a head start on identifying your key strengths. And their character strengths. They're a little bit different than maybe other strengths you've come across. Personality strengths, which is also important. The MBTI or the Myers-Briggs is another great resource you can use to identify your personality strengths or things that kind of make you unique in that area. For the purposes here, I usually use the VIA inventory to help people identify their top strengths. And so the next step for today is to remind yourself of your come alive items, and hopefully you refine them at this point into more of a project. So what your Good Life project will be, you have a good idea of what that is looking like. And consider how you can use your top strengths to help you advance that project in some way. to make it more meaningful, more robust, and something you can sustain over time. The more you practice what we've been talking about today, using your strengths in your everyday life, the more your energy, focus, and fulfillment align as well. So here's the takeaway for today. You don't have to become someone new to live a good life or to find your meaning and purpose in life. You just need to become more aware of and lean into what makes you come alive, and also what your natural strengths are. When you focus on your strengths, what's good about you, rather than just what's bad and ugly, which we all have, you start to see yourself differently. And that shift in mindset ripples through everything. Tomorrow we'll talk more about strengths and how to see them kind of in the wild, not just in a test that you take, but also as you get feedback from other people, how people see you and the strengths that they see in you. And if you would, please subscribe and join the waitlist below if you'd like to get more information on group coaching for gay men around these topics I've been talking about, how to find meaning and purpose in life and build well-being. I'm starting a waitlist for that. I'd love to get enough interest to have a small group of 12 people to start this journey together. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.